It's a time-tested truth in the advertising business. If your new ad is all the buzz the morning after, well, then it's a smashing success. It's a tough competition the Monday after the Super Bowl, but two ads with a political twist and a Michigan twist are all the buzz today. Clint Eastwood starred in one.
It's halftime in America, too. People are out of work and they're hurting. And they're all wondering what they're going to do to make a comeback. And we're all scared because this isn't a game.
An actress speaking broken English in the other.
Thank you, Michigan Senator Debbie Spend It Now. Debbie spends so much American money. You borrow more and more from us.
Some conservatives are outraged at the Eastwood ad. It was paid for by Chrysler, and the argument on the right goes something like this. Chrysler paid for it. Chrysler got taxpayer money in the auto industry bailout, so taxpayers are at least indirectly helping to foot an estimated $14 million ad buy that some on the right interpret, listen here, as a call to give President Obama 4 more years.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines. Yeah, it's halftime America, and our second half's about to begin.
Legitimate complaints or a stretch? Well, we all know politics is in the eye of the beholder. In the second ad, aired only in Michigan, Debbie Spend It Now is the mocking name Republican Pete Hoekstra routinely gives the incumbent Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow. The ad is powerful, but listen again. Some also say this is racist.
You borrow more and more from us. Your economy get very weak. Ours get very good. We take your jobs. Thank you, Debbie Spend It Now.
Hoekstra says any charges of race baiting are off base.
No, I'm not apologizing for the ad. I said if someone believes that we were insensitive, I'm sorry to them. But no, I'm not apologizing for this ad at all. I think it clearly drives the message. The problem is American public policy, American domestic policy. The problem here is not anything that the Chinese are doing at all.
Now, truth is, Team Hoekstra could have made just that same point with a Chinese actress who spoke perfect English. Is this outrage warranted, or is the Monday After Buzz proof both Chrysler and Hoekstra ads are hits? Let's talk truth with CNN contributor and RedState.com editor Eric Erickson. Ralph Reed's the chairman of the Faith and Freedom Coalition, and Amy Kramer is chairwoman of the Tea Party Express. Ladies first, was Clint Eastwood there? He says he's got nothing to do with the Obama campaign. He was just doing an ad for Chrysler. Did you see the double and triple meaning in that ad?
Well, it certainly, I mean, Chrysler got the bailout money, and now they're doing this ad, you know, that we get back up. And it was President Obama with Matt Lauer saying he deserved a second term. I mean, a lot of people have a problem with it.
It's a private company spending its money. It's paid back all or most of the taxpayer money. Are we trying too hard here to connect politics to this?
Probably. I mean, I think they had, what, Eminem last year, so they decided to go with Clint Eastwood this year. But look, John, both ads are basically Rorschach tests. I mean, people are going to look at the same ad. They're going to see different things. I saw the Chrysler ad as a celebration of the American spirit, not a celebration of bailouts, not a celebration of subsidizing failure, but the fact that companies not just like Chrysler, but also Ford, which didn't take a dime in federal money, got up off their knees and the economy turned around, not because of anything Barack Obama did. And I'll say this about the Hoekstra ad. Look, Debbie Stabenow has been in the Senate, and for 1,010 days, the Senate under Democratic leadership has been unable to produce a budget, unable to perform even the most rudimentary legislative functions that are charged under the Constitution. And for her to vote repeatedly
but
for
Pete Hoekstra doesn't have Ralph Reed in his ad. He had the woman who has spoken broken English.
But we're talking about his ad, John.
But we are talking about his ad, which means it's powerful.
So I've gotten used to Democrats screaming racism when Republicans do things. When Herman Cain, a black man who grew up in a separated America, said that he agreed with Newt Gingrich that Barack Obama was a food stamp president, suddenly black Democratic activists were calling him either a racist or an Uncle Tom. You expect people these days to yell Uno after they've thrown down the race card and things like this. It was a bad commercial. It wasn't a racist commercial. The Clint Eastwood commercial, Good for Chrysler, but you could have at least thrown in that, yeah, thanks American taxpayers for saving us.
Exactly. I mean, think back to the Ford ad when Ford did their, real people coming in, and they do this ad talking about,
and the guy
their
was
cars.
attacked for participating in the ad.
Right, and they pull the ad immediately. It's a double standard.
I'm going to wander over here. You guys stay put. We're going to quickly set the stage for tomorrow night. Follow me. Quickly set the stage. Now, the interesting part is we got 3 states voting. No delegates will actually be awarded tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. But Colorado caucuses, there are 33 delegates at stake eventually in Colorado, plus 3 Republican National Committee. All 4 Republican candidates are on the ballot there. Up in Minnesota, all 4 candidates on the ballot, Gingrich, Paul, Romney, and Santorum. Again, 37 delegates ultimately at stake. Tomorrow only begins the process. And in Missouri, Speaker Gingrich is hazed out here because he's not even on the ballot. That's the biggest prize, 52 delegates again eventually. They're not awarded in this primary. There are caucuses later to do that. So we're going to walk back over here. We start this process tomorrow. Amy, Rick Santorum has been saying the race is going to come to me. I'm going to get my chance to prove. Does he have to have a win or 2 tomorrow to have credibility, to go to Tea Party voters around the country, to go to social conservatives around the country and say, abandon Newt, come to me?
I do think he needs a win. I mean, I don't know that it's 2 wins, but look, all of these candidates still have support across the board. And tomorrow is important because of the 3 states. But if you look back to the past races over the past 3 weeks, every one of them, other than Ron Paul, has won in a state. And they've won with Tea Party support. So it shows that the movement's still divided. But I think at this point, it's anyone's race. I mean, we know that Governor Romney has done well, and he's been a front runner, but it is anyone's race.
So help me with the impact. Santorum's out there making the case. He's picking up some important endorsements. He's working really hard with limited resources. What's the impact of his effort plus the fallout from Nevada, where Speaker Gingrich gave this press conference and said he's in all the way through March, but a lot of people after that were sort of questioning the tone?
Well, John, look, we all know that the presidential nominating process is not a sprint. This is a marathon. I mean, it's going to go on over, 40, 50 states, multiple caucuses and primaries, all the way to June, probably before the numerical number is reached because of the change in Republican Party rules of the proportional awarding of the delegates. So in that sense, in a purely narrow arithmetic sense, this is going to go on a long time. Right. What's interesting for Romney is he's really playing 3-dimensional chess because he's not playing one opponent. He's primarily, it looks to me like, facing Santorum in the heartland in the Midwest where there are more Catholic voters. I think Santorum's going to have a very good day tomorrow in Minnesota, and I think he's going to do well in Missouri.
Does that mean a win or well?
Could be. I mean, certainly the polling's all over the map, but we do have a PPP poll that has him ahead by 2 over Romney, and I think he's more likely to overperform in the caucuses. There's a strong pro-family grassroots movement in Minnesota.
You can't play in what comes next. February is sort of a 2 at a time, 3 at a time, but then March is boom month, and you can't play if there's not money coming in.
You've got to have money coming in, but at the same time, there's also an antipathy to Mitt Romney still, and that keeps Gingrich and Santorum alive, and they may not be able to win, but they can keep him from winning, which if you listen to the Gingrich's press conference on Sunday, sounds like it's his strategy. At the same time, you've got to forgive Americans for being very cynical about their races. We're putting a lot of stock in places like Missouri tomorrow where nothing's at stake, which is why Gingrich isn't participating. He didn't want to spend money to get on a ballot where you win nothing.
Beauty and momentum.
Yes.
Eric, Ralph, Amy, thanks for coming in tonight.
The Senate's so important.
The Senate. We're going to fight for the Senate. We'll continue that conversation. Erin Burnett out front coming up at the top of the hour.